Jim Lauk, Tyler McConnell with you from the Yuengling Center. The Bulls coming off a big win over Tulane. This is going to be another 8-player game for the Bulls. Alyssa Rader still out, Laura Ferreira still out, but Tyler, as the saying goes, 8 was enough last time in their game against Tulane.
Well, it certainly was, and they really relied on some of those players that are really stepping up. One in particular, Sydney Harvey, who just earned Freshman of the Week honors in the American Conference for her performance against the Green Wave. So the Bulls are starting to really understand what it's going to take to play with a roster like they have right now with those 8 players, and I think Tulane was certainly a good starting point to see when this team is facing adversity, they can overcome it.
Roles have changed a little bit, but the Bulls are making their adjustments. Tonight they have Memphis. Tigers are 7-10 overall. Like the Bulls, they are 2-2 in league play.
Well, and the Tigers have been improving as league play has gone on. And you saw in their last game against ECU what they were able to do. They held to the Lady Pirates to 24% shooting. So, you know this team is going to come in here. They're going to play aggressive. They've got a good head coach at the helm in Melissa McFerrin. She's had a great track record at Memphis since coming in 2008. So make no mistake about it, they're going to make it tough. Plus, they lead the all-time series against USF. So this should be an interesting matchup. And certainly we're going to see how USF is going to continue to play as they have to deal with some of those injuries that they're dealing with, and Memphis can provide a tough challenge.
In conference play, opponents from the three-point line against Memphis, 11%. We'll keep an eye on that tonight. Stay with us. Starting lineups and the tip coming up. Bulls and Memphis next on Bulls Vision.
This is our game, our moment, our time. We work hard and play harder. We stay loyal to the game and to our team. We are power, American power. The American, powered by determination.
Hi, your house here. Did you know I'm wasting your energy and money? Tampa Electric can help. Call for a free home energy audit, and an energy analyst will inspect your ductwork and insulation. Check windows and doors for leaks. Examine heating and cooling systems. All the places energy can be lost. The analyst will recommend solutions and even offer you rebates. Call Tampa Electric today to learn about all its energy-saving programs. They're free. Tampa Electric, the power to save you money.
Good crowd at the Yuengling Center tonight as we get set to tip this thing off. The starters for the Bulls, Anna Pedhajic, Sydney Harvey, Louisa Septe, Shea Leverett, and Tamara Henshaw. For Memphis, Jasmine Herndon, Taylor Barnes, Jamira Schutz, Elena Davis, and Jasmine Jones. 26th meeting between these two teams. Memphis leads the all-time series 14-11, but the Bulls have won 3 of the last 5, and we are underway. Sydney Harvey coming off a career-high 25 against Tulane last time out. We'll get it started for the Bulls. Off the hands of Leverett, and the Bulls start with a turnover.
Well, Sydney Harvey was really instrumental in what the Bulls were able to do in that win over Tulane. Her performance earned her Freshman of the Week honors in the American Conference, and really with all the injuries going on with this team, she's been very critical in the pace of this offense.
Top 2 scoring freshmen in the conference are in this game. Harvey for USF and Schutz for Memphis. First possession for the Lady Tigers. Herndon to the basket. And off the floor, we'll have a tie-up on the rebound. Memphis comes out with it, and Elena Davis scores.
Well, that time Davis just stuck with it. No jump ball call, so she's able to pick it up and get the easy layup.
Davis, averaging 8.5 boards per game, has 10 career double-doubles. So the Bulls down early here. Here is Septe looking inside, and Henshaw drops it in to get the Bulls on the board. 2 apiece in the early going. Memphis coming off a win over ECU. The Bulls coming off a win over Tulane. And again tonight, as you heard in the open, the Bulls with 8 healthy players. To the basket, Jasmine Herndon. Alyssa Rader still fighting off the concussion. And Laura Ferreira with illness as well. This will be a held ball. And with the possession arrow, it will go to Memphis.
So far, a couple of sloppy possessions for USF. That time, Sydney Harvey loses her footing there on the ground, just tries to get the ball out of her hands, but good job with Memphis. They're coming in with some active hands so far.
Both teams 2-2 in the conference. Memphis 7-10 overall. They have won their last 2 conference games. Henshaw the rebound. Rebounding will be something to watch in this game. The Bulls a plus 12 in rebounding per game. That's 6th best in the nation. But Memphis is very good on the boards as well, a plus 4 per game for them. Henshaw sends it across. Pedhajic can't get the roll, and the rebound taken by Davis.
Well, when you watch these 2 teams, you can see a little bit why. Both teams bring in some size down low, and look, USF has shown they can rebound among the best. They out-rebounded UConn in their loss against them, and Memphis certainly has proven that they're tough to face on the glass too.
Bulls down 2, about 2.5 minutes in. And that'll be a carry called on Memphis. Jamira shoots with the turnover. And the ball will go back to the Bulls.
Well, if there's one area Memphis does struggle in pretty significantly, it's turnovers. Just under 20 turnovers a game coming in.
And that is already the 3rd on the Bulls, an unforced error there. So the Bulls turn it over and give it back to Memphis here with the Tigers up 4-2. Bulls used only 8 players in the 27-point win over Tulane last weekend. And it has really been an adjustment not only for the coaching staff but for a lot of the players as well. Second chance for Jasmine Jones, double teamed in the corner and turns it over. The minutes played have changed for a lot of players. The roles have changed. You look at a player like Enna Pedhajic, who was averaging only a couple of points a game, and she has become an offensive force down the stretch for the Bulls.
And when you talk about the minutes, her minutes have really increased in that stretch as well. So it just shows you that given the way things are going right now, USF has needed people to step up, and Enna is certainly one of those people that has.
Here is Pedhajic, gets turned back, shot clock down to single digits. Harvey will launch a 3. And the rebound by Memphis. In transition, Herndon just able to save it and then throws it away. So not very artistic in the early going here. Each team with 3 turnovers as Pedhajic misses the layup, but Henshaw there to follow.
Well, that's exactly what you want Henshaw to do in that situation. Yes, it looks like an easy layup, but off that miss, she stays with it, gets the easy rebound, puts it back.
Henshaw has all 4 for the Bulls, and Memphis turns it over again. Pedhajic running up Herndon's back. Can't get the roll and no second chance. Here comes Memphis. And basket hanging a little bit for the easy 2 is Taylor Barnes. Coming off an 18-point game against East Carolina. Bulls down 2.
Well, that's what happens when you get stuck in back and forth transition right there. The Bulls can't get back fast enough.
Here is Harvey. Now Septe around a screen. Maybe one pass too many there for the Bulls, but they are going to get the basketball back with 10 on the shot clock. Eliza Pinzon will check in, and Septe will go to the bench. Bulls have 12 rostered players, as we mentioned, 8 healthy tonight. But of those 12, every one of them has at least one start this season. Here is Sydney Harvey off a nice entry pass by Pinzon. Tied at 6 midway through the first quarter. Into the corner, Herndon. Shot clock down to 10. Boy, a nice move there by Schutz to get open, and she gets the kiss off the glass. Not sure she was calling glass on that, but great opportunity to create some space. She made a shot on her own there.
And that was really impressive. Shot clock winding down, too.
Harvey unable to connect. Here is Schutz. Another nice move. Can't get it to fall this time, and Harvey is off to the races for USF. She loses the handle. Henshaw saves it. Pedhajic for 3. Here is Leverett. Shea Leverett still wearing the bandages from her 3-stitch cut. That happened in practice on a collision with Anna Pedhajic right before the Tulane game. Her first points of the night, tied at 8. Here is Jasmine James sending it inside. Bulls double team, and it doesn't matter. Great move by Elena Davis.
Well, so far Memphis really relying on that stuff down inside, and Davis just made it look too easy.
Little over 3 minutes to go, first quarter. Here is Leverett again. Cannot get the roll, gets the second chance. Now Harvey. Sydney Harvey with her first basket, averaging a little over 13 per game.
Well, if you're going to face USF, you can't let them get second chance opportunities because they've been shooting the ball well with the combination of Harvey and Anna Pedhajic. And that's exactly what you see right there.
Thanks in part to the outstanding rebound, too. The Bulls just get so many more shots airborne than their opponents. Henshaw is 3 for 3 from the floor, and the Bulls take the lead. Henshaw picking up a lot of extra minutes, too, with Beatrice Jordan, the talented freshman, out for the year. Among the injured for the Bulls, and that's a long injury list. Schutz with a nice rudder to tie it up. Jamira Schutz now 4 points, 2 out of 4 from the floor.
That time a great move inside, getting into the lane. Bit of an off-balance floater with that right hand, but pretty touch.
2 minutes to go in the quarter. Off the foot of Schutz. That'll be Bulls basketball. But we're going to have the media timeout first. 2:01 to go, first quarter. Bulls and Memphis tied at 12 on Bulls Vision.
I laughed, I cried, I told my friends it's a real life drama I recommend. It touches your heart, it opens your mind. It's part of your history, part of our times. Every day's another sequel, the ending's up to you. The amazing story, the amazing story.
Tampa Bay Times, official newspaper of the USF Bulls.
Hi, your house here. Did you know I'm wasting your energy and money? Tampa Electric can help. Call for a free home energy audit, and an energy analyst will inspect your ductwork and insulation. Check windows and doors for leaks. Examine heating and cooling systems. All the places energy can be lost. The analyst will recommend solutions and even offer you rebates. Call Tampa Electric today to learn about all its energy-saving programs. They're free. Tampa Electric, the power to save you money.
Eight minutes in, the score is tied, and as you might expect, the stat sheet is pretty even. Bulls 6 out of 14 from the floor, Memphis 6 out of 11. Here's a look at the survivors for the Bulls. These are the 8 active players going into this game. They're hoping to get Alyssa Rader and maybe Laura Ferrara back, but right now, Pedhajic, Harvey, Pinzan, Kessler, Septi, Leverett, Henshaw, and Rosentali. And here's something else to consider of those 8 players, Tyler. We're looking at 5 freshmen out of the 8.
Well, you mentioned those freshmen, and it's interesting to think that with this roster fully healthy, some of those freshmen we might not have been able to see a whole lot of this year. Well, now with all this happening, these players are getting opportunities to showcase their talent, and you got to like what you've seen from a hefty amount of them so far. 3 freshmen in the lineup here tonight, and the contributions are evident. And this team has been able to find talent all across the board. And with these freshmen getting some experience, unfortunately, it's not in the way that you would like to see it with all the injuries, but because they're getting that experience, it gives you some confidence that with that playing time, they're going to learn how to get better. They're going to learn what it's going to take for them to win as a group and get through that adversity, something that they're just going to have to face, they're just going to have to fight through. But that win against Tulane on Tuesday was really inspiring because the way they were able to handle a tough team, a team that was receiving votes in both national polls coming in, and here tonight, once again, they're battling.
Nice out-of-bounds play, but the Bulls don't finish. They'll get the ball back. Septe broke free, had the easy one to break the tie, and couldn't get it to fall. Back to the Bulls with a new shot clock. And Hodgick will take it outside, and the Bulls will reset. Not much movement right now by the Bulls. Leverett needs a little help. This is Rosentali, one of the freshmen who has just checked in. And now Pinzan with the shot clock all the way down to 5. Leverett is stripped and Schutz takes it away. Oh, Schutz is a good-looking player, made a lot of great plays already. 3 is no good. And it goes out of bounds, touched last by the Bulls. Sydney Harvey, Tamara Henshaw back in, Rosentali and Pinzan out. We have played 8 minutes and 37 seconds, and we have had 0 fouls called so far, none on both teams. Stinson in the game for the first time, wearing number 0. Here's Jasmine James with a turnaround. Leverett fighting for the rebound. Out of bounds it goes, and it will be USF basketball.
Well, the one thing USF did well against Tulane, and they're doing here tonight, is they're getting good pressure on the basketball, forcing a lot of bad possessions for Memphis. Right there, the passing was just not crisp enough, and another turnover.
Still tied here in the final minute of the first quarter. That's going to be a moving screen. Actually, they're going to get it on Harvey. I thought they were going to call Leverett, but it'll be on Harvey. So there's your first foul of the game with 53 seconds left in the first quarter.
Guess we have to consider ourselves pretty fortunate that that's when the first foul of this game occurs. But Harvey right there, usually in that type of situation, those calls can go either way, but Harvey's call for that charge.
Well, that's one of the challenges also of having only 8 players available. You have to really worry about foul trouble. Nice drive to the basket. Jamira Schutz with 6 points to lead all scorers. About a 4-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock here. 20 to shoot for the Bulls. Here is Pedhajic kicking it out to Septe, and she is short. And a foul called on the rebound. This will be on Memphis. It'll be on Jasmine James. Elena Davis will check back in. And Brianna Porter to the sideline. 18.5 seconds for the Bulls. Shot clock now turned off, and that is going to be a foul on Memphis. Pedhajic did her best to walk the tightrope there, and she got a little push from Taylor Barnes.
Yeah, and that's one where Barnes you'd like to see her be a little bit more disciplined right there, but because of where Pedhajic is so close to going out of bounds.
Herndon will check back in. Taylor Barnes will depart. Still 17 seconds for the Bulls to work with here. Trying to get it into Harvey's hands, and she's being denied by Herndon. Now they settle for Pedhajic, and we're already down to 6 seconds left in the quarter. Pedhajic a little out of control, and we're going to have a held ball on the rebound. That's going to be USF basketball, but they're only going to have 3.6 seconds here.
Well, you're seeing they're slowing down the pace a little bit more, certainly in these last few minutes, and they're having trouble finding shots.
Quick jumper, Pedhajic too strong, and that is how the first quarter will end. Bulls in Memphis go back and forth. It's the Lady Tigers by 2 at the break. Back to the Yuengling Center for the second quarter after this on Bulls Vision.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
I don't like the sound of that. Let's see what the doctor says.
Hello? Hi, sweetie. Okay, can you open your mouth? Yeah, that's going around. I'll send in a prescription.
Thanks, Doc. Not you, too.
Glad to have you with us on Bulls Vision tonight. Jim Loft, Tyler McConnell, and the Bulls and the Lady Tigers. And Memphis leading 14-12 as we get set for the second quarter here. Memphis shot the ball well in the first 10 minutes, 7 out of 14 for 50%. The Bulls 6 out of 18. Bulls do have an 11-8 rebounding advantage. And I'm guessing neither head coach, Jose Fernandez for the Bulls and Melissa McFerrin for Memphis, are very happy about the turnovers. Memphis gave it up 5 times, the Bulls 4 times.
Yeah, and that just shows you right now where these two teams are going offensively. Memphis at least was able to shoot the ball well. They had a couple of inside looks, a couple of layups, so high percentage shots. But for USF, it's just been troubling finding really a rhythm right now. And I think that's something that happens, especially when you have so many players out like this, where you have to figure out who your best players are going to be in terms of finding a rhythm. Certainly against Tulane, we know there was some showcasing of that, but in the second half of that game, they slowed it down a little bit because they were up so big. Well, I'm interested to see in a full game, if it remains close, how USF keeps the pace going and what they do in terms of their tempo, because again, as we mentioned earlier, the one thing you run the risk of is if you're too aggressive, you're going to get those fouls. Well, you can't really afford to have too many players get into foul trouble, so it's going to be interesting to see how they manage pace going forward.
Bulls have struggled in the half-court offense, though. Take away Tamara Henshaw's 3 for 3, and the rest of the team is 3 out of 15. It'll be Septe, Harvey, Leverett, Henshaw, and Pedhajic for USF. Memphis inbounds, and we are underway in quarter number 2. Jasmine Herndon with the basketball. Now Jamira shoots. Entry pass inside. Bulls collapse and the whistles blow, and that's a travel and a little bit of hard feelings after that. Elena Davis getting tangled up with Pedhajic, and the officials with a word to both of them as they walk up court.
And as we were just talking about turnovers, already Memphis starting their first possession of the second quarter with a turnover.
You know, you lose the players that the Bulls had, the offensive talent, Laxa and Ferreira. Not only do they make shots, they created space for their teammates. It's a lot harder to find shots without players like that on the floor. Off of Septi's miss, Memphis on the attack, leading by 2. And there's a 3 by Jada Stinson, sophomore from the state of Kentucky. She's only a 22% three-point shooter. Look good there, though. Memphis has their biggest lead. And the Bulls unable to save that one. Harvey tried to push it out to Pedhajic. The shooting starting to be a story now. The Bulls are down to 30% from the floor, and Memphis is up to 53%. Shot no good, and the rebound by Harvey, and that'll be a foul on Herndon coming up court. Herndon will get her first. It will be the third team foul, and the Bulls will inbound.
Well, that's the second time that we've seen Harvey get a push on a possession. On the other side, it was when USF was already trying to run something there. That time, they were trying to work in transition.
Here is Pedhajic, who has opened 0 for 6 from the floor. Now Henshaw with the shot clock at 9. Nicely defended that time by Elena Davis. Knocks it out of bounds. The Bulls will get it back, but they've got only 7 to shoot. Into Leverett, back to Pedhajic, and that's too strong. Not many second opportunities for the Bulls either. They have 13 rebounds, most on the defensive boards. Herndon double team, kicks it outside. Good ball movement by Memphis. And James will launch a long 2, and she hits it. Jasmine James, native of Canada, averaging 5 points a game. She hits the shot. And we've got a 30-second timeout called by the Bulls as Memphis has opened the second quarter on a 5-0 run. Bulls are down 7.
Well, and I think really the big difference right now is the way that Memphis is opening up the floor. I mean, the passing in their last few possessions has been really smooth, and they're getting their shooters open. And we just talked about it for USF, where they're having trouble spreading the floor. Who is going to be able to spread the floor and open up shots for these players? And you look at Pedhajic, who was so successful against Tulane, drilling a couple threes towards the end of that game. Well, here tonight, Memphis is really clamping down on that. And you can see why Memphis has only held teams in conference play to 11% from three-point range, because they're getting to the basketball quickly.
Yeah,
it's been fun to watch that.
We gave that stat in the open. That 11% comes out to 9 for 78. That's what opponents have shot from the three-point range against Memphis in conference play. Tonight, so far, you can add an 0 for 5 to the Bulls as they've missed all of their attempts. And sometimes that's just not running into a team that's shooting the ball really well. But when it starts to be game after game after game, you realize that it's probably just really good perimeter defense by Memphis.
Well, when you look at what they did against East Carolina as well, where they held the Lady Pirates from the field. It's only 24%. On the year they come in, they only allow teams to shoot about 35% from the floor, and their season average from 3 is 25%. So this is a very good defensive team. I think a big part of that is because of how tough they play teams. Again, just how physical they are. Offensively, that's what's really holding them back, where they're having trouble creating things throughout the season. But defensively, they're going to lock people down. They're going to make it difficult. And certainly in conference play, especially in these last 2 games, the Tigers have done that.
Looks like we went to a full timeout, but we'll keep it here as the Bulls will bring back Pedhajic, Leverett, Septi, Henshaw, and Harvey. Checking in for the first time for Memphis is Kiana Coomber, junior out of Fairbury, Illinois, wearing number 22. And the Bulls will try to find some answers offensively here. Scoreless through the first 2 minutes, 5 seconds of the second quarter. Just not a lot of room for the Bulls to operate. Contested pass there. Stinson knocked it away, but couldn't save it. Bulls will get it back.
Well, once again, another good job for Memphis. One thing they are doing well, on top of playing good perimeter shooting defense, is they're reading the passes down low as well. They're getting their hands out in front and making plays.
Here is Septi. And now Harvey as Leverett sets the screen. Pahajic really having to work to get open. And here comes Memphis with the ball and a 7-point lead. Nice baseline jumper by Stinson. Memphis shooting the ball very well in this second quarter, and all of a sudden they're up 9. Away from the ball, I think they're going to get Jasmine James on this one. That's her first. She'll go to the bench. Brianna Porter will check back in, and Taylor Barnes will return as well. New shot clock for the Bulls after the foul. Bulls now 6 of 22 from the floor. That's another foul on Memphis. They'll get Stinson this time. That's her first. Pinzon will check back in. Pahajic, who had played the entire game to this point, will take a breather for the first time this evening.
And that's another thing that you have to think is starting to play a factor, is maybe some of that fatigue.
Here is Harvey. Bulls just trying to get that ball inside. Henshaw thought about the three. Now Pinzon's long range 2 is no good. Harvey had the rebound for a moment. Leverett wound up with it, and the whistles blow again. They're going to get Stinson again. So she now has 2 fouls, and that will get Jamira Schutz off the bench. We had so few fouls in the first quarter, we're still not to a bonus. Bulls will have another out-of-bounds play. Here is Henshaw, and Tamara Henshaw, 4 out of 4 from the floor.
Well, that was a nice pass off the inbound, and as you just mentioned, Henshaw has really been the spark for the offense so far tonight.
Ends a long dry spell for the Bulls. Memphis by 7, 6.5 to go in the first half. Nice block by Leverett. Coming off a double-double against Tulane, Harvey sees a lot of black shirts. Memphis really hustling back on defense. Harvey's 3 no good, and Septi with a nice job for the rebound. Almost lost by Septi, able to retrieve it, and then throws it away. Harvey went one way, the ball went the other way. That'll get Rosentali off the bench. Jose Fernandez will bring in a freshman to replace a freshman. That's kind of the roster the Bulls have right now.
Yeah, and you're going to see some of those growing pains with these freshmen getting so much playing time. And right there, it looked like Harvey was trying to cut in, and obviously they were not on the same page.
A miss by Memphis, and taken off the floor. Bulls had it for a moment, but Rosentali couldn't keep it in bounds. Back to Memphis it goes. Bulls down to 28% from the floor, 7 out of 25. There is Coomber, who has just re-entered. Shot no good by Davis, but the rebound is good by Brianna Porter. And you said it, Tyler, Memphis is just doing a much better job getting the ball into the paint.
Well, and then you look at that shot, too. It was really off balance. It was a tough layup, and really everything is falling for the Tigers.
Harvey double teamed, and that goes out of bounds. Touch last by the Bulls. That'll be another turnover. Here comes Makayla Kessler in the game, replacing Rosentali. So we have seen the entire assortment of Bulls players in this first half now, as all 8 have logged some minutes here.
And that's just really the chess match on top of everything, is trying to figure out the best way to rotate these players in and just how many minutes they have to get.
That is up and good by Elena Davis, and she's going to have a chance at a 3-point play. Leverett will get the foul for the Bulls. That's her first. And Davis with a real rarity, a free throw. This is the first one we've seen tonight. She completes the 3-point play, 70% free throw shooter.
Well, Elena Davis has been really impressive tonight. She's showing you her size and her ability. She's coming off an 11-point game against ECU, and before that a 26-point game against Wichita State.
Henshaw just inside 3, can't get the roll. And Henshaw with great hustle goes in and grabs the rebound. It'll be a held ball. It'll stay with USF. Biggest deficit of the game for the Bulls, 12 points. This game will end a brief homestand for the Bulls. They're on the road this weekend playing SMU at Dallas. Memphis just making everything difficult for the Bulls, even inbounding the ball. Shea Leverett with a strong move to the basket. She had 13 points, 12 rebounds against Tulane.
Well, sometimes in order to make those tough shots, you've got to attempt them. And right there, Leverett making sure she made the most of that.
Bulls back to within 10, but Coomber is open from 3. Looked like that hit off the top of the backboard, no whistle, but the Bulls wind up with the ball. Quick jumper by Harvey, no good. Henshaw with the follow. That one kicked off a second time off the rim, and I think it fooled Memphis. Henshaw able to swoop in and get the putback.
Well, not only that, but Makayla Kessler was also there waiting for it, so USF definitely was prepared for it. Memphis was not.
Quick 4-0 run for the Bulls has them back to within 8. And a flat-footed rebound for Shea Leverett. Here is Henshaw. And the Bulls on a 6-0 run. We talked about how well Memphis was getting back defensively. Didn't do it that time, and Melissa McFerrin wants to talk to her team as the Bulls have closed to 6 points. We'll take a quick timeout. 3:24 to go, first half at the Yuengling Center.
We are a community united behind common goals. Driven by innovation, passion, and excellence. Together we push the limits and continue to strive for more. It's in you and all of us. USF Tampa.
Six unanswered for the Bulls coming out of the timeout. Memphis with the basketball. Here is Jasmine James near the free throw line. Good looking shot for James.
Well, there were a few sloppy possessions for Memphis before that. But again, the passing has been really good tonight, and it opens up the free shooting lane for James.
Back to an 8-point game with 2:50 to go in the half. And Harvey is going to be called for traveling. So the Bulls turn it over. Most of the USF offense coming from Tamara Henshaw. She's got 12 points on 6 of 7 shooting. Only averages 4.6 points per game. Turnover for the Bulls was their 9th of this first half. Runner goes halfway down and comes out, and Henshaw the rebound. Here is Harvey, and she loses the handle, and that is turnover number 10.
Well, it's been a tough night for Sydney Harvey so far. 4 points on 2 of 7 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. She has pulled down 5 rebounds, but you can see why Memphis is making it difficult for her. And again, it's that defensive intensity, is knowing who's going to be the primary shot creator and attacking that, and that's exactly what they're doing against Harvey.
That was her 6th turnover, and the Bulls come back with Elena Davis. Memphis by 8, 2 minutes left in the half. And the ball tossed out of bounds as Davis tried to save it and could not. Jasmine Herndon back in. Coomber will sit down. Bulls line up at Hadjic, Leverett, Kessler, Henshaw, and Pinzon. And there is another turnover for the Bulls. They put up 73 against Tulane, but really struggling offensively in this one so far. Memphis throws it away. That's their 6th turnover. Louisa Septe will check back in. Kessner will depart. Bulls just trying to find some offense. Harvey and Pedhajic, the 2 big scorers, have combined for 4 first-half points on 2 of 15 shooting. Pinzon has it blocked. Pedhajic takes advantage, and she's on the board.
Not exactly the way you draw that up every time, a shot block, but Pedhajic's read it well. She was able to get to the ball and drive in for the layup.
Bulls back to within 6, 1:10 to go in the half. Herndon fights through a double team. Shot clock at 10, final minute of the first half. Barnes is short with a 3, the offensive rebound. Memphis has a second chance, and there's a travel. So the turnover is starting to mount for Memphis as well. That's their 7th.
Well, you're just really seeing a battle of 2 teams who, coming in on the year, the offensive production really hasn't been a mainstay for both of these teams. Memphis as a team came in averaging just under 60 points a game as an offense. USF really not too much better, coming in just under 70, and you're starting to see some of that sloppiness catch up.
Well, the problem, of course, is you got about 50 points a game sitting in street clothes on the Bulls bench. There's Pedhajic. She's starting to heat up. 2 in a row. Bulls back to within 4. End of the Bulls bench is really something to see. Kitty Aloxa, Alyssa Rader, Laura Ferreira, Beatrice Jordao, Sylvia Surratt. You could build a team with those 5 alone. And they're all unable to go tonight. 5 to shoot for Memphis. Boy, what a nice turnaround by Davis. Bulls have 6 seconds left in the half. Pedhajic trying to get a shot off through a double team. Great effort, almost got it down, but the Bulls will go to the break trailing by 6, 30-24. And Tyler, as we mentioned, shooting a big part of it. Memphis 47% from the floor, the Bulls 35%, but encouraging for the Bulls toward the end of the half there, especially with Pedhajic getting a little untracked.
Well, and that's something that really needed to happen if USF wanted to make this game more close. They had to free her up a bit, and granted, one of those was off a block shot, but look, anytime if you're a player like that and you're struggling, you start making a few shots, all of a sudden your confidence gets back a little bit. She was able to make those 2 field goals, but for me, I think the more impressive players tonight have been on Memphis' side, Elena Davis leading their team 9 points, 4 of 5, and Tamara Henshaw for USF leading all scorers in the game, 12 points, 6 of 7 from the field. It's been those two with their presence down low that's really made a difference, and neither team really has an answer for how they're creating some shots down low. But I think for USF, really what I think has to happen is they have to find a way to get shooting on the perimeter opened up, because that's really where they make their money. And as we've seen even the last few games, that if they can get some threes knocked down, if they can get some open looks for Pedhajic, for Sydney Harvey, all of a sudden you take some pressure off and you open things up, and it makes it tougher for that defense.
Bulls do have a significant rebounding advantage, but turnovers a worry as well. The Bulls gave it up 11 times in the first half. Memphis leads by 6 at the break. More stats coming up when we return to the Yuengling Center after this.
I laughed, I cried, I told my friends it's a real life drama I recommend. It touches your heart, it opens your mind. It's part of your history, part of our times. Every day's another sequel, the ending's up to you. The amazing story, the amazing story.
Tampa Bay Times, official newspaper of the USF Bulls.
Hi, your house here. Did you know I'm wasting your energy and money? Tampa Electric can help. Call for a free home energy audit, and an energy analyst will inspect your ductwork and insulation. Check windows and doors for leaks. Examine heating and cooling systems, all the places energy can be lost. The analyst will recommend solutions and even offer you rebates. Call Tampa Electric today to learn about all its energy-saving programs. They're free. Tampa Electric, the power to save you money.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
I don't like the sound of that. Let's see what the doctor says.
Hello? Hi, sweetie. Okay, can you open your mouth? Yeah, that's going around. I'll send in a prescription.
Thanks, Doc. Not you, too.
We are a community united behind common goals. Driven by innovation, passion, and excellence. Together we push the limits and continue to strive for more. It's in you and all of us. USF Tampa.
When life happens, Florida Blue is here for you with a variety of health plan options, health and wellness consultants, fitness programs, local agents across the state, and much more. Florida Blue, in the pursuit of health.
This is our game, our moment, our time. We work hard and play harder. We stay loyal to the game and to our team. We are power. American power. The American, powered by determination.
Contrary to popular belief, red is not always a bull's favorite color. USF Federal Credit Union members tend to be partial to other colors. That's because we help USF grads finance their dreams like no one else, with auto loans, mortgages, and lots of other things. And while your dreams might come in various colors,
Hey, Rocky.
you're going to need something in green. USF Federal Credit Union. Visit us today. We've got something just the right color in stock.
Hi, your computer here. Did you know I can help you save money on your electric bill with Energy Planner from Tampa Electric? This interactive energy management program puts you in control of your energy costs by giving you access to lower rates that are available 87% of the time. It's easy, it's free, and they'll even show you how to make the most of it. Sign up for Energy Planner only from Tampa Electric. Tampa Electric, the power to save you money.
It is halftime at the Yuengling Center, and the Bulls are trailing Memphis 30-24. Some of the first half stats, you can see how well Memphis shot the ball. The Bulls shut out from three-point range. They were 0 for 8. As you might expect from one of the best rebounding teams in the nation, the Bulls did win the battle of the boards, but too many turnovers for the Bulls in that first half. Here's another big stat that really hurt the Bulls this year. They do a great job of getting to the free throw line. The Bulls average about 16 free throw attempts per game, and it's a big part of their game because they average almost 76% from the line. In the first half tonight, they did not attempt a single free throw. Memphis only attempted one. Not a lot of fouls called, but the Bulls unable to get to the free throw line in the first 20 minutes of play. Halfway through in this American Athletic Conference game, the Bulls trail 30-24, and we're back to the Yuengling Center after this.
I laughed, I cried, I told my friends it's a real life drama I recommend. It touches your heart, it opens your mind. It's part of your history, part of our times. And the days are not a sequel, the ending's up to you. The amazing story, the amazing story.
Tampa Bay Times, official newspaper of the USF Bulls.
Hi, your house here. Did you know I'm wasting your energy and money? Tampa Electric can help. Call for a free home energy audit, and an energy analyst will inspect your ductwork and insulation. Check windows and doors for leaks. Examine heating and cooling systems. All the places energy can be lost. The analyst will recommend solutions and even offer you rebates. Call Tampa Electric today to learn about all its energy-saving programs. They're free. Tampa Electric, the power to save you money.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
I don't like the sound of that. Let's see what the doctor says.
Hello? Hi, sweetie. Okay, can you open your mouth? Yeah, that's going around. I'll send in a prescription.
Thanks, Doc. Not you, too.
We are a community united behind common goals. Driven by innovation, passion, and excellence. Together we push the limits and continue to strive for more. It's in you and and all of us. USF Tampa.
Getting set for the second half at the Yuengling Center, and the Bulls trail Memphis 30-24. All right, Tyler, let's look at the second half here. There's a couple of easy things to analyze for the Bulls. You got to protect the basketball a little bit. You've got to create some good shots. You've got to get the three-point shooting going, as the Bulls were shut out from behind the arc in the first half. What else do you think we need to see from the Bulls in the second half to turn this thing around?
Well, I think something else to look at here is how are they going to control, again, the pacing? And how are they going to get those shots open? You know, it's easy to say that, you know, it's just knocking down a couple of shots, getting a couple of threes, but I really think just the way that they're drawing up these plays, I think a good way to limit turnovers is I think there just has to be quicker passing. I think as long as you're able to get people open, that can help. I just want to see, I think, some crisper possessions. And we've seen them. They've taken time on some of these possessions. You saw it against Tulane when they were up so big. You know, they were almost taking it till about 7 or 8 seconds left on the shot clock. We saw a little bit of that tonight. I think if you're speeding things up a little bit and not allowing Memphis to really get set defensively, that might be able to help. I think that's one place that change can happen. You can start doing things there. And I think on the other side is just really locking it down in the lane and in the paint, because if Memphis is getting those opportunities, they're converting. And you're seeing certainly with Elena Davis, 4 of 5 on 9 points. I think there just has to be a bit more aggressiveness on defense.
Very unusual first half for the Bulls. No points from the three-point line, no points from the free throw line. It's Memphis by 6. Back to the second half after this.
When he thinks he's still 24, but his knees don't agree anymore. We are here for you.
When her chest gets a little tight and you need some good advice.
We are here for you.
When life happens, Florida Blue is here for you with a variety of health plan options, health and wellness consultants, fitness programs, local agents across the state, and much more. Florida Blue, in the pursuit of health.
This is our game, our moment, our time. We work hard and play harder. We stay loyal to the game and to our team. We are power, American power. The American, powered by determination.
Getting ready for the third quarter here in Tampa. Memphis 30, the Bulls 24. Leading scorer for Memphis, Elena Davis with 9. Jamira Schutz had 6. For the Bulls, Tamara Henshaw has 12. Shea Leverett with 4. Anna Pedhajic with 4. Sydney Harvey with 4. And that's it, 24 for the Bulls. All they were able to get on the board in the first half. We'll see if Jose Fernandez makes any lineup changes to begin the second half. No one is even remotely in foul trouble. There were only 2 fouls called on the Bulls and only 6 on Memphis in the first half.
And that's obviously a good sign for this team, because foul trouble can certainly play a big role in terms of just how many lineup changes they can even make. So I'm interested to see what Jose Fernandez does here, given the fact that they only have those 2 fouls. I don't know if they change too much, but certainly from a scoring perspective, you almost want to try your hand a bit just to see if you can get other people going, because outside of the 4 players with points, nobody else has a field goal.
and you got to get to the free throw line. It's unbelievable that the Bulls didn't have a single opportunity in the first half. And again, that's something they do really well, hitting 76% on the season. So we'll see if they can draw a foul or two in the second half. It'll be Henshaw, Septi, Leverett, Pedhajic, and Harvey. Memphis will inbound it right in front of us. James will put it in play. Taylor Barnes, Jasmine Herndon, Elena Davis on the court, as well as Jamira Schutz. Here is Herndon, and a block by Septi, and the Bulls get the basketball.
It's a great read by Septi, just reading where she was going into the lane, and a great block.
Memphis has not beaten the Bulls in Tampa since January 28th, 2001. That was an overtime game. Pedhajic still empty from three. And Herndon with a basketball for Memphis. Bulls have been down by as much as 12. They've narrowed it to 6. James has it knocked away, and it'll be a held ball. It will go to USF.
Oh, we've seen Sydney Harvey on the floor quite a bit tonight, but there have been a couple times where she's had to really hold on to that basketball, get those jump ball calls. That time it went her way.
A lot of minutes for the Bulls starters. Henshaw played the entire 20 minutes in the first half. Harvey 18 minutes and Pedhajic 16 minutes. Here is Pedhajic. Bulls a combined 0 for 9 from 3 and now 0 for 10 as Septi can't connect. Again, great hustle by Henshaw. Looks like she is going to get whistled for the foul, but you got to love the Bulls getting on the floor after a loose ball.
Well, no matter what adversity they're facing, they're always going to bring that toughness and that intensity. Henshaw has been a player over these last few years that's certainly done that. Back to her freshman season when she was the American Conference Freshman of the Year, she's carried that physical play forward throughout her career.
Scoreless third quarter so far. Memphis still up 6. Open look for Schutz, and the whistles blow. This is going on Memphis away from the ball. I think they're going to get Taylor Barnes. Well, they might have gotten Davis on that. And Davis will hobble to the sideline after that play.
She ended up on the ground as the whistles were blown, so whatever contact was made down low, she was a part of that. She's with the trainers right now. It was something with that right leg.
Leading scorer for the Lady Tigers tonight with 9 points. Brianna Porter replaced her. Henshaw can't find a shot. Now Pedhajic. Oh, she just can't buy one tonight. Leverett fighting hard on the boards for the Bulls, and USF earns a second chance.
That was a great job by Leverett. You never want to give up a tough shot, close to making it, but the more opportunities you get, the more chances you're going to have. Leverett still fighting and made sure she got that rebound.
2 minutes into the third quarter, nothing on the board for either team. Shot clock down to 5. Septi's going to have to make it happen, and she's blocked by Porter. And now the Bulls will inbound with 4 to shoot.
And once again, another possession with a shot clock almost down to 0. We'll see what they're able to do off the inbound.
Pedhajic will have to stop and pop. And the Bulls almost pulled down the offensive rebound, but it is touched last by Memphis. And now USF with the full 30 as they inbound baseline.
They get a big break there.
Septi, boy, there's a lot of contact for no whistle. It goes out of bounds. Touched last by Memphis. Schutz knocked that ball away. Again, 1 free throw in this game for both teams combined. Harvey still looking, now finds Pedhajic. How things can change from game to game. The Bulls look like they could do anything they wanted to offensively against Tulane. and really fighting it this game. There's a foul. That'll be on Schutz. That will be her first.
Well, I think you can look at this one really long possession, and that can really tell you the entire story of the game up to this point, where Memphis is making nothing easy for USF. They're having to fight just to get separation.
Still a 6-point game. Septi through traffic with the left hand. And this time Memphis pulls down the rebound, so the Bulls come up empty. They sure won the time of possession battle on that. Here is Schutz the other way, no good. And the rebound taken by Septi. Three minutes of scoreless basketball in the third quarter. Leverett, and that'll be a foul. That's going to go on James, and that will be her second.
Well, certainly with the way Memphis is playing, you can see why they're the ones getting the foul calls. There has been a lot of contact, especially in that painted area.
Third team foul on Memphis, so starting to see a few more whistles now. Here's Henshaw fighting through traffic, and the Bulls turn it over. Their 12th of the night, first of the second half.
And then you see just as easily as USF gets a foul call their way, Memphis on the inbounds pass collapsing on Tamara Henshaw. They're just reading where these passes are going for USF on the inbounds, on offensive creation, and they're making nothing easy for the Bulls.
Pinzan replaces Pedhajic. That is a block by Leverett, another held ball. This one will go to Memphis. 16 on the shot clock as Memphis will put it in play. Elena Davis looks like maybe a right ankle. They've taped her up and she's putting the shoe back on. Baseline jumper no good. Out of bounds it goes. Touch last by Memphis. Off the hands of Brianna Porter.
Well, so far both teams really struggling from the floor in this half. Memphis 0 for 4, USF 0 for 6.
And that's why the score has not changed since halftime. Here is Septi. The Bulls just having such difficulty finding shots. Shot clock down to 7. Great catch by Henshaw, and she drops it in. She's 7 of 8 from the floor in this game.
Well, we know where the offense is coming from when they're finding it, and it's from Tamara Henshaw, but a great pass down low. She uses her size to go up and get it, and gets the easy layup off of that.
And the Bulls close to 4 here as we approach the midway point of the third quarter. Bulls with a trap near midcourt. Schutz working on Septi. Leaves it short, and the Bulls in business again. Pinzan facing a little pressure, able to maintain control. Bulls trying to chip away here. They've been down by as much as 12. Here is Leverett off a great pass by Septi, and this is a 2-point game.
And that time it was just great design. Septi getting it at the top of the floor, finding Leverett down low. She made a nice move inside, and all of a sudden they're starting to find a bit of rhythm.
Elena Davis is going to return, waiting to check in at the next dead ball. Here is Schutz. And the whistle blows, and this is going to be a foul on USF. They're going to get Henshaw. That will be her first. That is only the third whistle on the Bulls in this entire game. We go to break. 4:54 remaining third quarter, and the Bulls have closed at 2 against Memphis.
Contrary to popular belief, red is not always a Bulls' favorite color. USF Federal Credit Union members tend to be partial to other colors. That's because we help USF grads finance their dreams like no one else, with auto loans, mortgages, and lots of other things. And while your dreams might come in various colors,
Hey, Rocky.
you're going to need something in green. USF Federal Credit Union. Visit us today. We've got something just the right color in stock.
Hi, your computer here. Did you know I can help you save money on your electric bill with Energy Planner from Tampa Electric? This interactive energy management program puts you in control of your energy costs by giving you access to lower rates that are available 87% of the time. It's easy, it's free, and they'll even show you how to make the most of it. Sign up for Energy Planner, only from Tampa Electric. Tampa Electric, the power to save you money.
Tyler, we have chronicled the Bulls' challenges with the outside shot in this game, but they are starting to open it up inside a little bit, and there's no question that's where most of their productivity has come tonight.
Yeah, and you look at the numbers, and that'll tell you the story. 26 of the Bulls, 28 points in this game are from the painted area, and you see a big reason why is Tamara Henshaw. She has 14 points tonight, 7 of 8 shooting, but Shea Leverett has also been involved down low as well. She has 6 on 3 of 5, and you just saw on the Bulls' last possession before the timeout, it was a great move inside. Leverett got free. That's where the Bulls are creating.
Here's a look at what is ahead for the Bulls. They'll have Cincinnati on January 30th. That'll be on the American Digital Network. Houston and Tulsa on the ESPN family of stations. We're back with you 1 month from tonight, February 23rd, against Wichita State. And then the big matchup against UConn will be on ESPN2. You talk about Henshaw and Leverett. They have combined for 20 points and 13 rebounds. So between the two of them, they have about 3/4 of the points and about half the rebounds the entire Bulls squad has.
It just shows you that when the Bulls are able to create offense, it's been those two that they've had to rely on, and you can see why. I mean, they're using their frame 6'2" in size, and they're taking advantage of what Memphis is giving them.
Jada Stinson has returned, as has Elena Davis. No changes in the Bulls lineup. Here is Davis, and she throws it away. Pins on with the steal. Bulls in transition. We haven't said that much this game. Harvey is stripped. It goes out of bounds, and it goes back to USF.
Oh, it was a great read by Pinzon, reading where that pass was going, and Harvey on the fast break there just has the ball swatted away. She fell down again. Fortunately, the Bulls keep possession.
Brianna Porter re-enters. Inbounds it goes, and the Bulls off a set play. Septi with her first hoop, and USF is all the way back, tied with 4:20 to go, third quarter.
Bulls have also executed possessions off the inbound pass very well tonight. Once again, they do it there.
Drive in by Porter, and they're going to get Leverett with the foul. That will be the second on Leverett. She is the first Bull to have 2 fouls. And this one should be free throws for Barnes. A 77% free throw shooter, averaging a little under 10 points per game. Bulls still have not been to the line. This is only the second attempt by Memphis, and they have cashed in on both of them.
Really is hard to believe that no Bull has taken a free throw attempt all game.
1 out of 2. And now the Bulls will try to reclaim the lead. They were down 6 at the break. They were down as much as 12 in the second quarter. Henshaw on a high post, looking for some help. Here's Pinzon. Inside it goes, and Leverett can't quite make the catch. Turnover Bulls. That's their 13th.
And that time they just tried to get the pass over the head of Brianna Porter into the hands of Leverett, but just was not there.
So Memphis with the ball and a 1-point lead. 3 minutes 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Stinson is going to be called for traveling. So Memphis returns the turnover. Jasmine Herndon back in. And the Bulls will have a chance to take the lead back. You look at this lineup, especially from the outside, and you're looking for points. Harvey is really the only one that will command a lot of respect from outside at this point. Here's someone who commands respect inside. Tamara Henshaw, 16 points, and the Bulls have their first second half lead. 3 by Stinson is no good, and the Bulls continue to work hard on the boards. 1 point USF lead, 3 minutes left in the quarter. Down goes Harvey away from the ball. This will be a foul on Memphis. That is the third foul on Jasmine James, so she's going to go to the bench. Elena Davis, who was taken out of the game after that turnover, now comes back in.
And James is really the first player tonight with legitimate foul trouble.
Septi's shot is too strong, but the Bulls will have a second chance. Inside it goes. Leverett muscles it in. Shea Leverett has 8, and the Bulls are up 3.
Well, you talk about trying to get outside shooting. You don't really need it tonight when it's working so well inside. 32 of the 34 points tonight the Bulls have scored in the paint.
And Leverett and Henshaw have now combined for 24 of the Bulls' 34 points. They kick it outside. A 3 to tie is short, and no second chances. But the Bulls throw it away after the rebound. Turnover USF.
I was going to say just before that 3 was taken that it looked like down low. I think Henshaw and Leverett might have combined with each other, and that allowed the open shooter in the corner. Fortunately, they missed a shot, but then trying to reestablish on offense, they turn it over.
Bulls 0 for 10 from 3. Memphis 1 for 7 from 3. A little over 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Herndon. Now Stinson kicking it inside. This is Brianna Porter. The hook shot no good. Rebound Henshaw. Memphis has scored 1 point in this quarter. They do not have a hoop. 1:40 to go. Open look for Pinzon, but it won't fall. And a battle for the rebound. It'll be a held ball, and that's going to go to USF. So they'll get a new shot clock with 90 seconds left in the quarter.
We've seen a lot of held balls tonight, really on both sides. It just shows you how physical these teams are, where they're trying to make sure they can keep as many possessions alive as possible.
Jamira shoots back in. Taylor Barnes to the bench. And the Bulls will inbound baseline with a full shot clock and a 3-point lead. Here is Leverett, attracting a crowd, kicks it out to Pinzon. Bulls trailed by 6 at the half. Knocked away, quick hands by Stinson, and the Bulls almost took it back. Now they do, and Pinzon is off to the races, and the Bulls lead by 5. Eliza Pinzon with her first points of the game.
That was an excellent job by Pinzon, getting the ball stolen away from her, but she did not give up on the play. Just a really tough play, and she made it work.
50 seconds left in the quarter. Stinson against a double team, and she is tied up. Memphis will keep the basketball with 45 seconds left and 11 on the shot clock. And again, Memphis is 45 seconds away from not having a single basket in the third quarter. They have 1 point, obviously, from the free throw line. We've got a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here with the Bulls leading 36-31, and the shooting has really changed. The Bulls up to 37%, not where they want to be, but better than they were. But Memphis is the big story. They have fallen all the way to 36% from the floor. They have been cold as can be in this third quarter.
Well, and it just goes to show you the dramatic difference between how efficient they were in the first half to now. And honestly, I think a big reason for that is the fact that Elena Davis was out for the time that she was dealing with that injury. She was back in the game. I have to think just her presence played a factor in how Memphis was able to stretch things. And for USF, they have really shut it down. And really, this is the first time all game that I think USF has been able to do what they want to do defensively with a lead. Now you're seeing some double teams. Now you're seeing more aggressiveness because now that they have a lead, they can start doing some of those things. And now you're seeing what's happening. Memphis's scoring drought is nearly 3.5 minutes.
Davis still leading Memphis with 9 points, but she has not attempted a shot in this third quarter. Well, looks like they've gone to a full timeout again after the 30-second motion was made by the officials. But we'll stay here with 45 seconds remaining in the quarter, 36-31 Bulls. Tamara Henshaw has a double-double, 16 points and 10 rebounds. And Shea Leverett is right behind her, 8 points and 7 boards. And the Bulls winning the rebounding battle 36-19. We talked about that earlier, how both of these teams are pretty good rebounding teams. The Bulls are exceptional. Memphis is very solid, but the Bulls with an almost 2-to-1 rebounding advantage. And what's really impressive for the Bulls, of those 36 rebounds, exactly half of them are on the offensive boards.
Well, it just shows you they're being able to attack the glass and giving themselves opportunities to make plays. I mean, look at this. They came in as the American Conference leader and 6th in the NCAA with that rebound margin of just under 13. That just shows you that even with the struggles that they've had offensively, they are still finding ways to control the glass, and teams are having a hard time of preventing them doing that. It's been impressive to watch, and Tamara Henshaw has really been a big difference in that category. She's third on the team in rebounding this year and has another double-figure scoring game under her belt. She's been very impressive tonight.
Bulls have hit 6 of their last 8 shots from the floor. Memphis has not scored in 3 minutes and 29 seconds, and the only time they did score in this quarter was going 1 of 2 from the free throw line.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what they draw up coming off of this timeout.
Herndon will put it in motion. Remember, they don't have a lot of time on the shot clock, already down to 4, and I'm not sure they realize it. Now Stinson, she is blocked by Leverett. Bulls basketball with 30 seconds left in the quarter.
And I think you're right. I don't think they were very much aware of just how much time was left on that shot clock. They slowed it down a bit too much.
Coming out of a timeout, you would think that would be a given. Now the Bulls with 18 seconds left in the quarter and 13 on the shot clock. Stinson hanging right with Penzan. Leverett sets a screen, the give and go, and she is blocked. And Memphis will run it up court. 3 seconds left. Schrutz shot, no good. And Memphis is held to 1 point in the third quarter. The Bulls hold them without a basket, and USF turns it around, going from 6 down to 5 up. 10 minutes to go here, fourth quarter coming up. Bulls 36, Memphis 31.
I laughed, I cried, I told my friends it's a real life drama I recommend. It touches your heart, it opens your mind. It's part of your history, part of our times. And the days are not a sequel, the ending's up to you. The amazing story, the amazing story.
Tampa Bay Times, official newspaper of the USF Bulls.
Hi, your house here. Did you know I'm wasting your energy and money? Tampa Electric can help. Call for a free home energy audit, and an energy analyst will inspect your ductwork and insulation. Check windows and doors for leaks. Examine heating and cooling systems. All the places energy can be lost. The analyst will recommend solutions and even offer you rebates. Call Tampa Electric today to learn about all its energy-saving programs. They're free. Tampa Electric, the power to save you money.
Well, you don't see that very often. The Bulls held Memphis without a basket, held them to only 1 point in the entire third quarter. And now with the final 10 minutes coming up momentarily, USF has built a 36-31 lead. And again, it's everything inside for the Bulls. Henshaw and Leverett have combined for 24 points and 18 rebounds. Especially the scoring output is impressive. Leverett and Henshaw combined average about 12 points a game. So they've more than doubled that up so far through 3 quarters.
Yeah, they've been so impressive in the way that they're just attacking the rim. And really that's how USF has been running their offense tonight, is getting plays designed for them to get those high percentage shots, and it's been very impressive. And on the other side, defensively, I mean, my goodness, USF has done such a great job of taking everything that Memphis did well in the first half and completely turning that around. If you like defensive basketball, you have to like what USF basketball as a whole has done this week. I mean, you look at the USF men's team, they just held Wichita State last night to 41 points. Now here tonight, USF in the third quarter allowed Memphis to score 1 point, and it's been over 4 minutes since Memphis has even scored a point at all. It's been extremely impressive for USF tonight and a great turnaround.
Memphis missed all 10 of their shots from the floor. And the Bulls now leading by 5 here. Talked about points in the paint for the Bulls. 34 of their 36 have been in the paint. And again, it's mainly Henshaw and Leverett doing the great job. The minutes are really adding up. We've played 30 minutes so far. Henshaw and Leverett have both played 29, and Harvey has played 27.
And it's amazing to think that they picked up the intensity as the game is going on. You would think the more minutes they're picking up, the more fatigue they're starting to show, but it's been the opposite here tonight.
7 ties and 3 lead changes. Right now it's the Bulls by 5. Harvey with a nice move, and she has drawn the foul, and guess what? We're about to see something that we haven't seen all night, a Bull at a free throw line. It'll be Harvey, and that's the person you want there. She's the best free throw shooter in the American Athletic Conference at a little under 91% on the season. My apologies. One more coming. Harvey, prior to that, was 59 of 65 on the season. 1 out of 2, and the Bulls build the lead to 6. That's Harvey's 5th point. And that ball goes right through Davis's hands, and the Bulls take it away again. Turnover number 13 for Memphis.
Well, much like how the third quarter started with a few turnovers, the fourth quarter starts a similar way for the Tigers, a turnover.
Here is Harvey, and she is stripped. Taylor Barnes off to the races, and the long dry spell is over, and that's going to be a foul on Pinzon. And boy, the old saying is true. If you're in a position like Pinzon was trailing the play, you either got to let it go or get your money's worth. You don't want to give up a 3-point play, and that may very well be what happens, as Barnes will go to the line. But she missed it, so it's still a 4-point game.
Really all that comes down to is just a big freshman mistake.
Bulls by 4. Just over 9 minutes remaining. And that is thrown away. Septi was trying to get it to Leverett. Very low percentage type of pass. For the Bulls, turnover number 17.
Well, that time Memphis made sure they were tracking down Leverett. They had 2 people down there, and really that pass just had no chance of getting into her hands.
Hadjic waiting to come in at the next dead ball for the Bulls. Bulls still don't have a 3 in this game. They're 0 for 11. That'll be a foul on Henshaw. That will be her second. Henshaw and Leverett each have 2. Nobody in any worse trouble than that for the Bulls. Septi out and Hadjic in. New shot clock for Memphis. Brianna Porter finds Barnes, and now Herndon. Porter with the left hand, and Hadjic with a strong rebound. Bulls trailed most of the way in this game, turned it around in the third quarter, now trying to protect a 4-point lead with 8.5 to go. trying to get it into Leverett. They've got her bottled up. Here's Harvey, and her three is blocked. And a turnover on the way up court. Bulls have it back, but Hodgick doesn't like the numbers. Jose Fernandez standing up with the hands up, saying slow it down, so the Bulls do.
I think that's the smart thing there with a shot block there, but it's good to see the Bulls not giving up, able to get that turnover. But here in this situation, it makes sense to slow it down.
7 to shoot. Pedhajic with a three, and it is short. Rebound out of bounds, touched last by the Bulls. So the Bulls with a series of empty possessions here. And it'll be Memphis basketball.
Three-point shooting has not been the Bulls' friend tonight. 0 of 13 from beyond the arc. It's just been that kind of night on perimeter shooting.
Well, these two teams have combined to go 1 of 19. Too strong on that. Bulls trying to run this down, and a great effort by Leverett to keep it in bounds. Finds Pedhajic, now pins on. There it is. The first three of the game for the Bulls belongs to Eliza Pinzon, and the Bulls are up 7.
Boy, you could tell the entire team was fired up after that one. One of them had the ball eventually, and that was a big one for Pinzon.
Well, the Bulls have a three, and they have a free throw. Both coming in the fourth quarter. Shot clock down to single digits again for Memphis. Herndon drops it off. Just beating the shot clock, and a foul on the rebound. This is going to be on USF, and that will be Henshaw's third.
Boy, USF came so close to forcing a shot clock violation right there. Elena Davis just got it off and then did enough to get her own rebound. And what turned into almost no points for Memphis turns in a chance.
Davis, a 70% free throw shooter. And she's perfect, 2 of 2 from the line. That's her 10th point. Also has 3 rebounds. Back to a 5-point game. Davis is just a sophomore, native of Augusta, Georgia. 5-point Bulls lead, 6.5 to go. Now Pinzon. Harvey with 9 to shoot. Pedhajic lines up a three, and she leaves it short. Out of bounds, touch last by Memphis. You notice too with Pedhajic, a lot of her shots have been short. That could be fatigue as well. She was short on that one. She's played a lot of minutes tonight and a lot down the stretch here with all the injuries.
Yeah, she's played 22 minutes, and really her overall shooting has been rough tonight.
Bulls turn it over. Davis gets the rebound, and now Porter. And Memphis will reset, but Hodgick trying to draw an offensive foul. There's another block for the Bulls. USF comes away 2-on-1, Pinzon and Harvey, but not a real good angle for Pinzon. Probably a smart thing to pull this back. 5:45 to go. 5-point USF lead, and Jose Fernandez positions Eliza Pinzon to come near the bench, and that's where he will call a timeout. So we'll take a break. 5:44 left in the game. Bulls by 5 on Bulls Vision.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
I don't like the sound of that. Let's see what the doctor says.
Hello? Hi, sweetie. Okay, can you open your mouth? Yeah, that's going around. I'll send in a prescription.
Thanks, Doc. Not you, too.
In Enjoying some basketball in the Yuengling Center tonight, but it's almost time for baseball and softball, and we've got a lot of it for you coming up on Bulls Vision. Starting with baseball against the Florida Gators on February 19th. Billy Mole and his crew trying to get back to the NCAA tournament again. Florida State, Cincinnati, Houston, and Wichita State also on the baseball Bulls Vision schedule. For softball, Virginia Tech, South Carolina, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and a couple against East Carolina. Ken Erickson's team, the preseason favorite in the conference, and they will play an incredibly challenging and aggressive non-conference schedule they do every year. We'll get started in the month of February, and we will go all the way through April and May with USF baseball and USF softball on Bulls Vision this year. Looking forward to both of those seasons.
It's going to be really exciting to watch both of those teams coming off great seasons, NCAA tournament runs. They bring back a good mix of talent. I'm very excited to see how both of those teams perform. But as we get back into things here tonight, USF coming off of this timeout, they'll have possession here. They're still doing a good job defensively. Memphis hasn't made a field goal in about 3.5 minutes. They're 0 of their last 5. Whatever USF did in terms of adjustments after the first half, defensively it's really working.
Bulls now own a 43-23 rebounding advantage. Henshaw has 11 boards, Leverett has 9, and the Bulls turn it over. All right, that'll frustrate you coming out of a timeout. Bulls with turnover number 14, and it's right back to Memphis with 5.5 minutes to go. Schutz has been quiet offensively after a good start. Here is Davis backing her way in. Remember, there's 3 fouls on Henshaw. Bulls come up with a basketball. Almost taken right back, but USF controls, and they throw it away again. So another turnover. Memphis will take control with 5:07 to go.
And that was just a tough way to come off a great defensive possession with Shea Leverett getting her hands in a perfect spot. The turnovers are really starting to build up here.
And I don't think if you're Jose Fernandez, you want a lot in transition or fast break unless it's just wide open. You want to run a little clock here. Herndon with 5 to shoot for Memphis, and she is blocked. And Leverett takes the rebound. Boy, she's had a tremendous game.
Defensively, it's really been phenomenal to watch her down low. She's in great position right there. She's keeping her hands in the right spot, and just a great job to stuff that one out.
4 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Memphis has scored only 5 points in the second half. Henshaw pins on. Too strong. And great hustle by Harvey, trying to maintain her balance, and the Bulls get a timeout before the travel call or the tie-up. So the Bulls will preserve this possession and have 28 to shoot with the game clock down to 4:07.
That was a nice job there for Harvey. You just want to make sure that as soon as she's on the ground, you get that timeout call. USF was able to do that. Unfortunately for them, it wasn't a travel call and a turnover, but now this is a situation where you're going to have 28 seconds. It's enough time to really set something up. You just mentioned earlier, starting to control the clock a little bit is going to be a factor. I won't be surprised if USF really takes their time with this possession right here. You just want to make sure you're careful with the basketball. And I think just taking your time here on this possession, as long as you're not turning the ball over, that could go a long way.
Neither team has scored in the last 2 minutes, 37 seconds. Henshaw pins on Harvey, Pedhajic, and Leverett for the Bulls. Davis, Porter, Herndon, Schutz, and Barnes for Memphis. Both teams 2-2 in the American. We are under 4 minutes. Here is Pedhajic. And Leverett again, and the Bulls reset. Shea Leverett now has 11 rebounds.
want to talk about players of the game for USF, Shea Leverett and Tamara Henshaw.
Here is Harvey to the basket, can't connect, and the rebound taken by Memphis. So the Bulls come up empty again, 3:30 to go. That one knocked away, touched last, I believe, by the Bulls. Officials are going to confer, but that was pretty clearly off USF. It'll be Memphis basketball.
I think the confusion was the official pointed signaling USF before and then had to confirm with everybody on the floor that it was actually Memphis basketball.
It'll be inbounded with the Bulls up 5. Barnes will take it toward the free throw line. 3 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Shoots, is off the mark. And the rebound taken by the Bulls. This is going to be one of the lowest scoring games of the year, if not the lowest scoring, but the Bulls will take it gladly if they can get a conference win against a good Memphis team. 10 on the shot clock, under 3 minutes on the game clock. Pedhajic over Henshaw, no good. Leverett pried that free, and Pedhajic pulls it out, and the Bulls will reset with 2:40 to go.
Boy, you cannot overstate how big Leverett has been in these last few minutes. Controlling the clock right now is something USF absolutely needed, and those offensive rebounds have been huge.
Bulls have worked the shot clock down to 10 once again. Here is Pedhajic. 5 to shoot. And Memphis with the basketball. 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Bulls by 5. And this knocked away by Levitt. It'll go out of bounds back to Memphis.
Boy, Leverett has been all over the floor in these last few minutes, both on offense and on defense. That time she just flew right into the picture, was able to block that one out of bounds.
You saw Jasmine Jones re-enter. Elena Davis to the sidelines. A defensive battle today. Here is Schutz through traffic. Can't get the shot. Pedhajic the rebound. And now we are under 2 minutes remaining. Pinzon will take it up court. Memphis had 30 points at the half. They have 35 now. And there's a minute 40 to go in the game. Here is Henshaw, just inside 3. She is short, and the rebound taken by Memphis, and that'll be a foul on the way up court as Harvey got tangled up with Barnes. 1:32 to go.
Well, this is crunch time now for the Memphis Tigers. You have been struggling from the floor in these last few minutes. It's going to be important for them to find something here on this possession after that foul. 0 for their last 9 from the field. We'll see what they come up with here.
Memphis was right around 50% from the floor in the first quarter. They are now at 30% for the game. Back and forth it goes, and this is going to be free throws. Porter will go to the line.
And I think that's one way for the Memphis to try to change that, is just try to get a shot up where you're going to get potential contact, and that time you saw it right there. And well, they need all the points they can get right now.
Well, Porter is just a 35% free throw shooter, 5 out of 14 on the season. One more coming. 1 minute, 20 seconds to go. Got 1 out of 2, and it's a 4-point game. Bulls want the ball in the hands of Pinzon or Harvey, taking it up court. Mid-court trap for Memphis. Harvey works her way through it. Got to be careful here. Yeah, that's an offensive foul. Well, one thing, Tyler, when you're facing a trap like that, it's tough to get pinned against the sideline, and Harvey did there. Jose Fernandez arguing the call, but looked like the contact was initiated by the Bulls.
Yeah, if you're Harvey right there to try to fight off that press, you just want to throw your arms out, and because she did that, she was called for the foul.
Here's Porter, and now it's a 2-point game. And a whistle after the shot. Let's see what's going on here. Game clock reads 57.4. The shot clock, of course, at 30 as the Bulls are getting ready to inbound. And they've pulled both teams off the floor, which probably means they want to look at something on video. There wasn't much contact on that sequence, and obviously there was no foul call, so it's certainly possible they're looking at something with a clock here.
Yeah, and I would think just given what the situation was, I mean, the players were kind of confused as to what that was, but you're right, I didn't see anything that would have indicated maybe a foul call. I think, if anything, they just want to make sure they know how much time is left. And certainly in a game like this, a 2-point game, every second is going to matter, so this makes sense.
And they have changed the clock. That's apparently what they were looking at. They moved it from 57.4 to 58.4. So that's what caught the eye of the officials, and they make that adjustment before the Bulls inbound. And unfortunately for the Bulls, it's a little bit of a disadvantage because this stoppage is going to allow Memphis to set up some backcourt pressure here that they might not have been able to get in place if things had gone as normal after that basket.
And we'll see what Memphis decides to do in terms of fouling. I think there's too much time left right now to immediately foul. If you're Memphis, you can set up a full court press right now, and if you're USF, you just want to make sure you get the ball into the hands of somebody who, if a foul is called, you'd have a chance to make some free throws.
Well, there haven't been enough fouls called to send someone to the free throw line anyway, so Memphis has got to figure that too. Henshaw needs some help. Boy, a dangerous pass, but Pinzon has it now. Harvey. Bulls securely into the front court here. 13 on the shot clock, 40 on the game clock. 2-point USF lead. Pinzon wide open, calling for the ball. Here's her three. No. Henshaw got a hand on it. Scramble. Tie up. Held ball to Memphis. 28.5 to go.
Man, that was a great open look there for Pinzon, and that's just the night for the Bulls from beyond the arc. 1 of 19 tonight, and a lot of those have been good looks. And that time, it would have been a huge three. Could have really changed how this game is going to go, but now all of a sudden Memphis has the possession with a chance to at least tie the game.
Pinzon had a hand in her face when she let that go because the Bulls didn't identify her on that weak side being so wide open at the three-point line, at least not initially. By the time they got her the ball, Memphis had a chance to recover a little bit. So here's where we are. Shot clock turned off. 28.5 seconds remaining. Bulls leading by 2, but Memphis has the basketball. It'll be Pedhajic, Septi, Harvey, Henshaw, and Leverett for the Bulls. Leverett 8 points, 12 rebounds. Henshaw 16.7 rebounds. Shea Leverett also has 7 blocks in this game. James will inbound it. Here is Barnes, and we're underway. Now shoots. Working on Septi to the basket. Tie game. It counts, and a free throw coming up. So Memphis will have a chance to take the lead. I'm assuming they're counting that basket. Looks like they are. So it's tied at 40, 21 seconds to go, and Memphis will have a free throw to try to take the lead.
And Memphis leaning on their leading scorer this year. She came in averaging just under 13 points a game. Huge drive to the basket, getting into the lane. Big time.
Here's the free throw. Bulls down 1, and they'll take the timeout with 21 seconds to go. So a few things at work here for the Bulls. You don't want to leave Memphis a lot of time, but you want to leave yourself some time for an offensive rebound if you need it. All the drama when we come back. 21 seconds to go. Bulls down 1. 41-40 Memphis, 21 seconds to go. Bulls have the basketball. Bulls are 19 of 59 from the floor, 1 of 19 from three-point range. Obviously, you don't need a three here. Bulls have 22 offensive rebounds, 50 rebounds in this game. No lineup changes for the Bulls. Shot clock's turned off. Henshaw will put it in play. Looking for a guard. They find Pedhajic in the corner. Boy, a quick jumper. It's an air ball. Septi trying to save it. She kept it in play, but Memphis has the ball, and Leverett fouls with 13.1 seconds to go.
Well, Pedhajic took such a tough shot on the elbow right there. I thought they might have had a little bit more time. If she wanted to pass that ball, she could have. Didn't really see a whole lot open in terms of options there. A tough shot decision, though, and USF, unfortunately, was not able to get it after diving for it on the ground.
I believe this is going to put Barnes on the free throw line. She is a 77% free throw shooter, but she has missed 2 out of 3 in this game. First of 2. It is a 2-point game. 13.1 seconds remaining. Pinzon for Septi. That may be the Bulls anticipating they might need a 3 here, and Pinzon gives them an opportunity from long range. Second of 2 for Barnes. 3-point game, 13.1 to go. So now the Bulls know they need a 3. Pinzon to Harvey, 5 seconds. Pedhajic, do or die, no good, and this game is over. Actually, 0.2 of a second remaining. The clock did not quite run out, but Memphis has the ball and a 3-point lead. And Jose Fernandez gets teed up for tossing the ball across the court. And ejected as well.
A real frustrating night for Jose Fernandez and USF, and you could just tell in these last few minutes, I mean, he has shown in his frustration with the officials. He doesn't hide that very much. You can tell he's still angry with them right now, clearly not happy with the situation. And again, a tough sequence for USF, especially with Pedhajic, the way she's been shooting all night. You gotta feel for her, just can't get that last shot to go.
So Jose Fernandez is ejected with 0.2 of a second remaining. And he walked through the Memphis huddle before leaving, congratulated Melissa McFerrin, and he will depart. Associate head coach Michelle Woods-Baxter will take over from here. Memphis will have a series of free throws here. First the technicals, then the fouls. And there's not going to be a lot the Bulls can do regardless of how these free throws go, with only 0.2 of a second remaining. This will be Memphis's 3rd consecutive conference win. They started off 0-2 in the league. It's going to bring them up to 3-2 and 8-10. And the Bulls are going to fall to 2-3 with a tough road trip coming up to Dallas to play SMU.
Well, when you look at Memphis, it's been a long time since they've had a really good season in American. Their last winning record in conference play was 2015-16 when they went 12-6.
Barnes shooting the technical first. And she makes it a 4-point game. And she will stay right there now with Memphis up 5. This is a 12-0 run for Memphis, now 13-0 over the last 6 minutes and 43 seconds. Barnes again now in a 6-point game, and she is perfect from the line. 0.2 of a second to go, Memphis by 7. And they will just need to inbound the ball here to wrap things up. And I have a timeout first. Well, the Bulls go 1 of 20 from three-point range, and again, when you lose 50 points per game of offense, and that's what the Bulls have lost, and that doesn't even count Sylvia Surratt, who still hasn't been able to step on the floor for the Bulls. She's been hurt 2 years in a row. But it just takes away so much from you in many different facets of the game, but I think offensively more than anything. When you don't have a Laxa or a Ferreira or even an Alyssa Rader who is over 40% from three-point range, it really makes a difference. And as we have said tonight, virtually every point the Bulls have scored in this game has come from inside the paint.
Well, when you look at what those players that you mentioned really brought to the table, Ferrer the double-doubles, Laxa the three-point shooting, and even Rader three-point shooting.
Inbounded, and that will do it. So the Bulls fall to Memphis in a hard-fought battle in the Yuengling Center tonight. The Bulls come back from a 12-point second quarter deficit. They take the lead, but then down the stretch, Memphis holds the Bulls without a point for the final 6 minutes and 44 seconds, and Memphis goes on to the victory. And this is what it's going to be for the Bulls for a while. They hope Alyssa Rader will be able to come back maybe as soon as this weekend in Dallas, but it's going to be a real challenge for this team. Again, a lot of minutes played. Harvey went 37, and Leverett and Henshaw, who were both just terrific, played 39 of the 40 minutes in this game.
Well, you really did see the fatigue start to catch up to this team. Really, after that third quarter, it started to go downhill, but you got to give Memphis a lot of credit defensively. We knew going in, they only allowed teams in conference play to shoot 11% from three-point range. Tonight, the Bulls, 5%, 1 of 20. You're not going to see many nights like that throughout this conference, and really the rest of the season for USF, but it does show you that this team, where they are right now, it's going to be tough to really get that scoring elevated because you're relying on so many different people that normally wouldn't have to play as many significant minutes, and this team really had to battle tonight, and it just wasn't enough.
Thanks for joining us on Bulls Vision tonight. Our final score, Memphis 47, USF 40. For Tyler McConnell, Jim Locke saying good night from the Yuengling Center.